Hello class, it's Dr. Gitter. Welcome back to Econ 326, an online class adventure. This is your Blackboard site where you'll be doing most of your work. So the first thing I asked you to do was to look at the syllabus. Just like previous Blackboard sites you're probably used to using, there are headings. We're going to see headings for the stuff that you need. So click on the syllabus and you can download the course syllabus right here. It's a Microsoft Word document or a docx document. Let me know if you have trouble downloading that. If you don't have docx, you should download it on a school computer. We'll get back to the syllabus at the end of this video, but I just wanted to show you some other things. The main thing that you're going to want to do each week is to read the weekly guide. So here's the weekly guide for week 1. Basics and basic instructions. Here's the weekly guide. Look at the to-do list. So the first thing on the to-do list is to read the syllabus. The second thing is to read Paul Collier's The Bottom Billion. Remember the first video I told you needed to purchase that book? Well, go ahead and purchase it. Purchase and read the book, so always read the study guide questions and then participate in the discussion. I'll post the link to the other YouTube videos that I've made right about here, and then you can read through the study guide. The study guide is going to tell you all the things that you need to know. All the discussions and quizzes are open notes, so what you should do is use the study guide to create a set of notes. So for example, on the quiz, this might seem a little bit obvious, but one of the quiz questions might ask you something like, what is my email address? Or what are the prerequisites for the class? Read through the syllabus and make sure that you know all the answers to the questions. I know it might seem obvious, but this will help you later when you're going through and trying to figure out other things like, you should be able to understand the influence of differences in average growth rates of GDP per capita in middle income and bottom billion countries. So when you do that, when you go through each of the chapters in Paul Collier's Bottom Billion, you can answer the questions on the study guide, and then when you get ready for the discussions or the weekly quizzes, if you have it all written out either by hand or in a Word document, then you'll be all set to go. So the next part is the discussion. The instructions for the discussion are here. They're pretty detailed. Each group, we're going to divide the class into 4 groups of 8 students, each based on the enrollment numbers I have. Each person in the group will be responsible for making an initial post by Wednesday, January 29th at 11 p.m. and then a second post responding to one of the other posts by Friday, January 31st at 11 p.m. So that way you're only dependent on responding to one other person. So if 2 other people in your group don't make initial posts, it's not going to affect your grade. So I write a very detailed rubric here. Make sure to read this. And you basically, everything that has a star next to it, you get a point for if you do. So students receive each point. So the first paragraph, just make it really simple. I want you to meet the other people in your group. So introduce yourself. Tell us what you like to do in your free time. You're going to choose a country and tell us why you selected it. Now remember, to choose this country, you're going to have to choose a country with a GDP per capita, or that's roughly equivalent to income per person, is less than $7,000. You can go to this website published by the CIA to find out which countries would meet that threshold. In the second paragraph, you must provide the GDP per capita of your country. Compare your country's definition to Collier's definition of a bottom billion country in terms of GDP per capita, GDP growth, and human development indicators such as life expectancy. And finally, you should discuss one of the traps in your country. So the Paul Collier's book suggests that there are 4 different traps that can cause countries to be poor. You try to, in your short discussion post, try to talk about why you think one of those things is causing the country to be poor. Again, CIA fact book might be really helpful to look up information about your country. Finally, what you're going to do is make a response post to one of the posts that somebody else make and talk about, well, what might have caused that trap. So, if they say that the trap was a civil war, you can talk a little bit about what Collier might think caused that civil war for somebody else. All right. The next thing you're going to do, once you've read the weekly study guide and you've read your assignment and filled out your weekly study guide, you're going to go to the discussion board. In the discussion board, there's 4 groups, A, B, C, and D, the whole semester. I think I'm going to keep you in those groups unless there's a serious problem with one of the groups or one of the groups gets too big or too small. And just look for your name. So, the first group, you can see everybody that's in it. And one of the things is in each group, one person for each discussion is going to be responsible for a music video and one person for a newspaper article. So look and see what you're responsible for. So why the heck am I going to do this? Why should you find a music video? So you guys are choosing countries, so why not find a YouTube video of some musicians from your country. So for example, if John, who's choosing the music video for Group A, wanted to choose Malawi, he could go to YouTube and type in music Malawi, and you find some really cool stuff. And so for example, here's the video that I found, some musicians in Malawi. For those of you who don't know, Malawi is located on the eastern edge of Africa, sort of right about here. This gives us an opportunity to learn a little bit more about culture in Malawi, and to just sort of see, like, well, what are people's lives like in these places. Next, another person in the group is going to select a newspaper article. In this case, for Group A, it's Juliet. For Group B, it's Dawn, and music video is Benjamin for Group B. And Group C, Mary and Diana are doing music video and newspaper articles, and Group D, Patrick and Nicole. So to find a newspaper article, I just prefer to go to news.google.com. And I said, well, I want to find something out about what's going on in Malawi right now. And here's something about Malawi's economic woes are created by greedy politicians. And you can read this and sort of see, well, what is going on in Malawi that might be causing some of the economic problems that Paul Collier talks about. And then you're just going to post a link to it, and maybe a very short description. And then other members in the group, please read and watch the video. All right, so that's it for the discussion. Each person's responsible for one post on Wednesday and one post on Friday, and then I've highlighted who's responsible for the music video and who's responsible for the newspaper article. Everybody's going to get a turn to do both of those. So if you're dying to show your favorite Haitian or Laotian band, you'll have your chance. All right, let's take a quick look at the syllabus, and then we'll call it a video. Let's see here. So, I'll just, usually in class, I'm not going to read through the whole syllabus, but we've covered most of the stuff. Get the book The Bottom Billion by Paul Collier. You've watched the videos. You know where to start. You know how to reach me. The other thing I would ask, if you're trying to look for help, you can contact the Student Center. You can contact your internet service provider if you think it's something screwy with your internet. If Blackboard is not working. The other thing you might think about, well, hey, is there a snow day in this possibility in this class? Yeah, what I'm going to do is, if there's a snow day at Towson, I'll just delay the assignments for 24 hours. That way, like today, you can go out and enjoy the snow. Study guides I've got posted, and then the grading for this class. Basically, there's 300 points in the class. Half of the grades are made up with essays. A quarter of it is made up with quizzes. I'm going to drop the lowest quiz grade. If you miss one of the quizzes, that's going to be your drop. Group discussions are about a fifth, and then the video and news story is just a small couple percent of your grade. Here's the minimum total possible points for each grade. I might round up in some cases or redo the curve, but this will be the absolute minimum. These points, if you get 279 of the 300 points, you'll definitely get an A in the class. I might make it lower based on the scores of the class. I post the paper assignments are already posted. The interesting thing about the papers in this class is that they're only 3 pages long, and the difficult thing is going to be to keeping all of your answers to 3 pages. Again, graphs and references are not going to count. I'll talk a little bit more about that as the next paper comes by. The first quiz is not the first week of class, but the second week of class. You'll have a 45-minute time limit to the quiz, but you're allowed to use any materials that you want, including your notes or looking stuff online or the book. The group discussions I've talked about. Just in general with the group discussions, try to use academic language, right, like you would if you're handing in a paper, and be civil to each other. There really should be no need for any name calling or anything like that. I've talked a little bit about if you're doing the video or news story. Here's some more information about that. So now the one thing that maybe you can tell from these videos, or you've had me in a previous class, I like to have fun and I like to tell jokes, but I really like my papers in on time. So late papers will be docked 1 letter grade for each day that they're late. Just turn it in. And if you have a medical excuse, let me know. Some other issues, if you need disability support services, we can talk about that. I wrote out some, very detailed goals for the class. I want you to read through them. It will tell you about what you need to know for this class. If you know those things, you will do well in the class. There's also an outline that can give you an idea of what we're going to do. So this week we'll do discussion. Next week we'll do a quiz. We'll do discussion the second week. The fourth week, or the third week, we'll do discussion. The fourth week, we'll do another quiz. And then the fifth week, the first paper will be due. And it'll pretty much work like that. Discussion, quiz, paper. Discussion, quiz, paper. And that's it for the class. Well, I hope you guys enjoy. Good luck on your first week of class. I'm sure there'll be initial questions. Look forward to interacting with you, and hope you're enjoying the snow.